Hi folks, Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom on Mojo 50 Radio here. I normally come on Mondays and Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I felt a need to actually speak and say something. I'm really incensed right now because, as you're aware, Candace Owens appeared before members of Congress yesterday. And unfortunately, what happens is my anger, my frustration is not because of what's happened to her. My anger and my frustration is because of the fact of the responses, the reactions, and the lack thereof. See, what you have is this conservative black female, this conservative black woman was disparaged and lied, slandered by this Asian male Democrat. And then when she basically tried to correct the falsehoods being spread about her, then you have this white Jewish male Democrat who chooses to silence her. Now, two actions took place, and instead of speaking about the very actions, the behavior of the Democrat Party against a black woman, people are wondering why is she there in the first place. Instead of actually addressing the hatred that was present in the behavior of representatives from the Democrat Party, we attacked the victim. That's a shame. I mean, if Black Lives Matter, where were they when the things took place? This is on national TV. This isn't something that's doctored. It's not doctored the way that they doctored her audio trying to say that she supported Hitler. We're so worried about white nationalism that white nationalism took place yesterday and it's not being called out. What nationalism? Yeah, these were two minority Democrats, of course. But the spirit of white nationalism that has existed in the Democrat Party, so much so that they went to civil war to keep control of black people. And we saw it again yesterday. Because they wanted to control Candace Owens, and they can't, we see the visceral hatred. We see the comments about her. They don't even know who she is. But they decide that they're going to say negative things about her that's completely not true. It's not factual. There's no evidence to support the accusations they made about her. And when she wanted to correct it, shut up. The gavel comes down. Don't you dare talk about a member of this committee like that. Do not dare insult a member of Congress like that. Isn't that behavior familiar? Isn't that what they did to the slaves? Isn't this how they basically kept them in control? They told them you didn't have a right to speak. You didn't have a right to speak out of place. You didn't have a right to question our authority or what we say. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. And that took place yesterday, and the women's advocates are nowhere to be found. Where are you, Alyssa Milano? Where are you, members of The View? Where are you? Why, Hillary Clinton, here is your great opportunity to speak up for women, and you're nowhere to be found. Chelsea Clinton? Let's see. How many other individuals who've been advocates for women, and they're nowhere to be found because of the fact that Candace Owens happens to be conservative, because she supports the President of the United States of America. She's one of those Uncle Toms or Auntie Tomettes, whatever you call them. The sellouts, that's what we are. We're sellouts. Because of the fact that we want to walk away from the plantation. We don't want to be controlled anymore. And what happens is, you see what happens when you want to be free from the tyranny of the Democrat Party. They disparage you, and then they turn around, and then they tell you to shut up when you try and call them out. If you needed any more information, everybody's all worried. Oh, Donald Trump is made president of the United States. Black people should be afraid. Immigrants should be afraid. Muslims and everyone else should be afraid. I think you saw clearly what took place yesterday at the hands of the Democrat Party. And it gave more value and more credence to when she talks about Blexit, about black people exiting the control and tyranny of the Democrat Party. If you can't see how horrible it is, if you're still focused on white nationalism and you didn't watch the barbarism that took place yesterday, it's too late for you. It's too late. You are mine. They raped your mind. You have been skull raped and you can't realize it or pull your brains out of the disaster and the waste of leftover from them screwing you over. You are no longer able to discern and reason out fact from fiction. Fact. You watched egregious behavior yesterday against Candace Owens. Fiction. White nationalism is what we need to be concerned about in this country. I'm not saying that white nationalism doesn't exist, but I'm saying that if you have hatred and concern about white nationalism, but you didn't for black pride via Black Lives Matter, if you have all this concern about white nationalism, but you're not concerned about the rise of socialism and the tyranny that happens through groups like Antifa and even the people who are now elected to government, the anti-Semitism that's coming from the left, from Democrats, from progressives, and you're still worried about white nationalism? 300 maybe at the most people carried candles in Charleston or Charlottesville last year, and we're acting like this is a national representation of what America is right now. If that's how brain screwed you really are, I really pray for you. I really pray that you will wake up and recognize that you don't have the reasoning skills, you do not have the discerning skills to understand that the Democrats are the people that you should be fearing more than you ever could imagine. They've controlled you. This was a symbol of black power. I'm basically telling you this is the symbol of how Democrats have their hands and their fists wrapped around the necks of every black person who was not outraged at what happened to Candace Owens yesterday. This is the power that the Democrat Party has, the fist and power that they have around every woman who was not outraged at the disgrace of what they did to that woman yesterday. This is the power. This is the fist and power of subjugation that only comes from the Democrat Party. If you can't see that, it's too late. And by the time the hands are let go, you'll be dead, because they will pulverize you while you sit here in your willful ignorance, believing that the Democrats are your true hope and that the Republicans are doing anything to keep you in subjection. I'm not going to sit here and say that Republicans don't have their faults as well. What I'm telling you, the very evils that you have been worried about, that you evil Donald Trump, I didn't vote for him. So don't try and call me a sellout who said he voted for him. I didn't vote for him. But I'm going to tell you, you know what? Watching the behavior of the left, watching the behavior of people who attack people wearing a hat. Okay, the violence that you were worried about, black people, the violence that you worried about is being carried out against people who are wearing a red hat. Think about that for a second here. People wearing a hat, women, black, white, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. They're wearing a hat and they're being attacked by who? By whom? Whatever way. Why are you still beholden to a lie? At this particular point, if you can't recognize how you were still on the plantation, you will never come out. You will never be free. And people like me will always be someone that you envy because you are not happy, you're not joyful, and you're not free. I'm sorry. That's the truth, and I'm sticking to it. I'm the host of Battle for Freedom on Mojo 5 Radio. Take care, and God bless.